boy, do I have something nice for you. Especially if you're struggling with paintings that feel dry, there's no motion, there's no movement, it's all stiff and very robotic and full of hard edges, let me share with you this painting process that relies mostly on motion and movement. So we actually have what you could call a rear view mirror. This isn't actually the rear view, but it's actually the window of the back of the car. And I thought to myself, wow, that's a nice little composition. Everything is out of focus, which gives a whole new layer of challenge, but also beauty because it's watercolor. And I think you'd love this. This is an incredible process. So check it out. Really something that happens once in a while. Could be improved. I might end up doing another version, but this is really fun. So I'm starting with the sky. If you noticed, I started a little gray, and then from the corners, I started adding a bit more French ultramarine and phthalo blue, just to blue up the corners. I'm not following the colors I'm seeing accurately at all, but I am following a similar pattern in the relations, starting with the neutral, adding some color in the corners, and as we move down into the trees and the road, look at what I'm doing here. I am moving into just black. I could add black because this neutralizes the whole thing, and I still wanted to have a bit of a blue feel. So all I care about now is painting around those highlights. You could tape, you could use masking fluid, masking tape, whatever you want to tape them. I'm kind of painting around them, looking for a more organic feel. You could start wetter, ideally, you could. The thing is, you are giving up some value and strength of paint, and you are giving up some colors because it's going to dry much lighter. Something to have in mind. So in any case, I'm making my wash. I'm going to fill in all the details. I'm going to loosen up some areas where it is a smooth transition, right? This highlight, especially this, and at the corner of this car, most important highlights of the entire painting, because it's what gives this car that's at the front its structure, right? And my sprayer is a bit uneven, so you see large drops. I'm more than okay with that. The most important thing is that it feels wet and there's motion. Now, at the very last moment, I'm putting in this paint for the trees to the side of the road. What you'll notice is this paint will move into my car. So I have to be careful, and I have to weigh my options and how I manage the edges. Now, what makes this work is the timing and the exact ratio of water to paint on my brush and on paper. These are all things that to get right, it's not easy. So what you have to do is rely on your instinct and do that as much as you can until your instinct is actually accurate, because it's not going to be at first, okay? And so if you're just getting started, you're at a point where you just have to try it out and do it a lot of times until it becomes intuitive, right? So these kinds of paintings specifically work really well for that. So let me show you. I'm placing in this beautiful blue paint, and notice how the edge is starting to seep into my car again. This transition is perfect, and had I done this painting again, I would 100% keep it. But, you know, that's life. And in a process like this that is so full of flow, there's a lot of room for inaccurate timing, okay? Now, right side of the car is quite dark, so I have to strongly darken that. Now, no matter how dark my paint looks to you right now, it's not dark enough. You'll see me going back and revisiting this spot, which is fine. That's just how it goes. Still a decade or more even here, over a decade into watercolor painting, and still there are a lot of instincts of mine that aren't as sharp. And, you know, I haven't been able to paint as much as I wanted in the past couple of months just because of realities of life. And so I lost some edge that I'm now regaining, okay? That's just how it is. You know, if you took a break and you're kind of beating yourself up for it, it's a surefire recipe to not be back is to beat yourself up for it. Just don't. Just start with your next painting. You'll see it's much faster to get back on the horse, so to speak. Okay, now I'm starting to work my way with this dark wash. It actually should cover the road too, because you'll notice there are nice little lines that give us kind of the feeling that we're pulled into the scene, but the road is darker. One thing that a lot of people miss is when I look at their paintings zoomed out, and you know, if you've ever gotten a painting critique from me, which by the way you 100% should, I'll put a link below to get your painting feedback from me. If you want the best, by the way, most cost-effective opportunity, join the Watercolor Breakthrough Club. I'm going to put a link down below. If you want to be a part of the club, if you want to get my personal feedback on your paintings, do check it out. I highly, highly recommend you do that. But in any case, the most surefire way. What was my point? I don't even remember. Oh, yeah. Huge mistake that a lot of people make is what I was getting to earlier. I zoom out on your painting and everything is flat. There are no values. What do I mean by that? If you look at the photo, there is a clear distinction between the sky and the ground. And everything in the ground, aside from the highlights, is darker than the sky. People miss that. And that is probably one of the biggest mistakes I'm seeing all the time. So just zoom out on your painting. Do you see clear shapes? Can you tell kind of what you're looking at? Or is it a confusing mess? If it's a confusing flat mess, you have not established the values, the big shapes, right? Not the small details, which I did get here, the big shapes. How is the ground against the sky? You will see me establish that later on. I was talking about the lower part of the car. I wanted it to be visibly darker than the road to show that we are inside a car. And now we get to some fun stuff before we take another dip into the world of wet and complex washes, which is like drawing. Right now I'm drawing, right? I'm drawing all of the shapes for the street lights, just a few small details. If you notice, there are some buildings in the reference photo. I completely ignore those. Everything is organic. It's just shapes of trees. You get to make these decisions. Now, it's fine that you get cauliflowers. It's fine that your timing isn't perfect. With time, it will be. It will be better and better and better. But you have to start making your way towards it. And most importantly, you have to experience how it feels to paint something. You have to experience yourself the frustration of painting something, thinking it's way too dark, then it drying too light on you, right? And I know a lot of it is more beginner, but many people watch my videos when they just get into watercolor. So good chance you are a total beginner if you're watching this, right? So here we go, darkening it. Bit of a bold brush mark. You can notice these things, you'll be able to paint them. So we got a nice wet look, right? It's relatively flowy. We got some nice, unique watercolor effects. Now I'm doing something fun here. I'm adding those stripes on the glass. These are the defrost thing, the defrost device, right? When you want to defrost the back window, they warm up, if I'm not mistaken. They're conductive, I guess, heat conductive. And so what happens is, I think that's how it works. So I'm adding those in. What this does is almost like if you've watched some other of my paintings that have like a blurry background and sharp foreground, it does create that separation and it recontextualizes the blurriness, right? So far, everything is blurry, but now you give some contrast of something that is a little less blurry, right? And not everything is blurry. Of course, I could have done a bit of a better job with some areas and some wet and wets. That's fine. But it does give you a new context as to how these look. And hopefully it adds to the overall feel to it. I had to add these in for the simple reason that was the whole idea of the painting, right? So I couldn't skip those, right? And whether you prefer them on the painting or not, I had to put them in. That's the whole idea, and it's there, and it's really noticeable. I kind of like the way it looks with them, and it almost makes the blurriness make more sense. Because now you're like, okay, that's why it's blurry, because we're actually seeing it through a glass, and we're focused on the glass and the sharper glass. This is a wonderful effect you can play around with. I did this wet scene, the wet and wet, where I painted a bunch of cars in the street, and then I added little water droplets. Same kind of an effect, right? When you see a finished painting, a lot of people think like, wow, I could never paint this kind of a thing, right? You're seeing the end product. Take a moment there and realize that this final product has gone through a bunch of iterations where it didn't look right and where things needed a lot of adjustment, right? It's important to remember that. When you see the final product, it's very easy to get discouraged, but one thing that helps against getting discouraged, by the way, is to remember you have your own interests and you paint the things that interest you. So there is no issue of being encouraged, ideally, because the thing you paint ideally is the encouragement, right? Capturing this crazy, interesting type of view, right? Which is why I'll probably do another version of this one as soon as I'm done filming and editing this video. Because there's something about what you paint that really compels you to nail it down, right? And if there isn't such a thing, just don't. I talked about this in my best painting method. I shared a bit of it here. I did a webinar on it, actually. If you're on my email list, you've gotten the email in the past, and hopefully you were there live. The best system for painting is the course I'm going to work on, right? And it's built on a bunch of things, but the first B stands for beauty, and that is for things that you recognize as beautiful. It's very subjective and very personal, and it's the element of your paintings that no one else can recreate. It's why there are artists who are highly renowned and whose works transcend and inspire so many people, because they have been completely loyal to the thing that makes them appreciate beauty, the thing that they see as beautiful, right? And hopefully that's cars for me, funny enough, cars and highways and roads and interesting light and shadow conditions. So if there's one thing you can maybe take from this video, it doesn't have to be the technique and how to get these things down, the timing of wet and wet. It really comes down to, do you care about the thing you paint? And if you don't, find something you care about. Because the thing that you really care about will lead to a better result. May sound cliche, but every single student of mine who sends me a painting and it's like, yeah, it's a friend's dog, they wanted to honor them after they passed away, etc., etc. Yeah, it's my brother-in-law, I painted him. It's always a better result. Always. How can it be that it's always a better result when you paint something you care about or someone you know? Mystery, right? You just have to try it out. There is more involvement there. There's, even with the same level of experience and technique. So hopefully the takeaway from this is, let the paint do its thing. Paint something you care about, right? Hopefully I'll share more about this best method. By the way, the third element is... not the third element, yeah, the S is for sharpening. The way you sharpen your skills is by constant feedback loop. So do check out the critiques if you want to get your painting critiqued by me, and do check out the Watercolor Breakthrough Club. I highly recommend that you join. The ROI on it is amazing, right? The return on investment, investing in yourself, it always pays off. So invest in your watercolor skills. Now's the time. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much to everyone who supports me on Patreon. Really, really appreciate you. If you want to receive credits at the end of the videos, do check that out. And with that, I'll be out. I'll have to schedule this video for Saturday because today is live stream day. Today, I'm filming this on Thursday. But yeah, take care. Till next time.